A theme among left-leaning liberal children authors are books like Why Mommy is a Democrat and Mama Voted for Obama. But a more poignant book, one that is gaining notoriety in these troubled times that we live in, is called Why Mommy Loves the State. Lawmakers, both Republicans and Democrats, have in the past fought for, stood for freedom, individual rights, and limited government. But very little of that in Washington today. As you've heard me say many times, there's no real Democratic Party and no real Republican Party. There's only the big government party with a Democratic branch and a Republican branch. In the new book, Why Mommy Loves the State, author Brittany Schaefer says, quote, "Mommy didn't always love the state. First, she had to learn what it was and what it could do for her. Read all about Mommy's fun adventures with the government and how, no matter how bad it gets, Mommy never gives up on the power of the state to fix everything." Wow. That sums it up. Joining me now is Brittany Schaefer, author of Why Mommy Loves the State and daughter of one of my heroes, law professor Butler Schaefer. Brittany, welcome to Freedom Watch.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Why does Mommy love the state today in 2009?
Mommy loves the state because Mommy sees that you can use the state to get things you want from other people kind of indirectly. You know, you can do things through the state that you would never do as an individual. You would never go to your neighbor and hold a gun to their head and say, pay for my child's education. You would never say, you know, do the same and say, pay for my health care. Whereas you can do it through the state, and we're sort of brainwashed, I think, where we're taught mostly in the public school system that this is acceptable, this is okay. If something is voted for, if the political process approves of it, it's therefore acceptable, and you don't have to sort of apply your own moral standards to it.
Boy, I think you put your finger right on it, Brittany. To me, it comes down to the power of ideas. I mean, the left and what used to pass for conservative Republicans as well have gotten the idea across that, for example, health care, we'll talk about that for a moment, is somehow a right rather than a good. I mean, to me, a right is something that comes from our humanity, like the right to think and the right to speak and the right to travel and the right of privacy and the right to be left alone. But somehow the big government types in both parties have transferred what is a good, like a house or food or clothing or health care, into a right, and suddenly it becomes the government's obligation to provide for it since it's a right. Is Mommy, is the typical middle-class mother of 2 or 3 children falling for this nonsense?
I think so. I mean, you know, I'm not a pollster, and I'm probably the worst person to ask about this because I'm a mommy myself, and I'm at home with my kids most of the day, so I can't even tell you what the pulse is around here. But my sense is that most people in this country do fall for it. Most people believe that whatever the government does is legitimate. If people vote for it, if the majority approves of it, it doesn't matter. And not only does it not matter, not only is it not a question of right or wrong, it's also this belief that government can solve these problems and that government can effectively pay for my health care or educate my children. So it's sort of this double whammy.
Why is it that your mother didn't love or rely on the state in the past 20 years, or my own mother in the past 40 years, sorry, Ma, you can see my gray hair, didn't love or rely on the state in all those times? Why is it that contemporary families, middle-class, hardworking people, or the offspring of middle-class, hardworking people, are suddenly looking to the government for things that your parents and mine wouldn't have dreamed of looking to the government for?
I don't know is the answer. My parents were pretty unusual even in their own times. I mean, I was raised with very sort of libertarian perspectives, but I don't know. I think it has changed, and I honestly I can't say what the difference is. I mean, I think, you know, possibly schools are indoctrinating more. I really don't know. I can't.
The book is Why Mommy Loves the State. The author is Brittany Schaefer. Brittany, it's a pleasure. Thanks for joining us on Freedom Watch.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You can catch today's show on foxnews.com/Freedom Watch and on Sirius 145 XM 168 or online at foxnewstalk.com at 6 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays. From New York, defending freedom, Until the next time, stay free, America.